Weight loss. I mean, you know, how many people have been on a gazillion diets? Oh, everybody, you know, just about everybody. I can't say everybody. Mark's never over. If you hang out with him, you eat 3 meals a day, you gain like 15 pounds in 3 days. But no, I hate people like that have a metabolism that, you know, oh, I'll have that coconut cake, thank you very much. You know, and they lose weight that night. It's irritating to me. I can look at it and gain 5 pounds overnight. But weight loss is an incredible market. It's always going to be there. It's always going to be there. Because just about everybody has 10 pounds or more that they want to lose. And they'd love to do it in 7 days. They would. I mean, I'll give you a couple examples of that. How many people saw the 6-day bio diet on television? You know what the 6-day bio diet was? It was a fast. No wonder you lost 17 pounds. You didn't eat anything for a week. You know, guys drinking cabbage juice and stuff for a week, you know, okay. There's all kinds of things happening to me. You know, and I mean, 17 pounds in a week, you didn't eat anything, and you had cabbage juice. Okay, that's bound to work. Or the other one that's out right now is the Aspen Wellness Group. They have I don't know what the name of the diet's called, I can't remember it, but it's filmed in Aspen. They have Kim Zimmer as the host of it, or hostess. And, you know, they sell you prepackaged food. You eat soup for a week. No wonder you lost 10 pounds. I mean, three days later, after I start a diet like that, I'm ready to murder people, you know? I mean, I'm going through some sugar deficiency. I've got to get something in my system. But it's a good example. Service businesses. Stop and think about this for a moment. Attorneys, and this is not done as anything to slant the legal industry, but I just want to point out some things that people want to buy. Immigration attorneys in Miami, San Diego, border areas. Why are they busy? Because they have people that want to come to this country, which coincidentally is one of the most interesting things to me, is that, you know, and this is an interesting point for you to remember, and we touch on this in our show, but it's always amazing to me that people will come to this country and they have a great deal of desire to succeed, and they don't even think about failure. And then many of us look at failure as a predominant reason that causes us not to act. And the one thing I can guarantee you about not acting on something is that nothing's going to change. Immigrants come to this country and they fight to get in. And then if somebody tries to deport them, they get an immigration attorney. Once again, selling what people want to buy. They've got to have it. They've got to have that legal help. And if they get in, they're fearless. They just don't care. And it's just an interesting observation. And it's something for a lot of you to think about. Because there's people, if you've ever wondered why some of those people come in this country with no skills, no money, and just an incredible amount of desire, because they fought to get here, they go out and succeed. And it's an interesting thing to think about. Because these people have fought to come to this country, and no matter what comes across their path, they don't care. They have so much tunnel vision towards doing what they want to do that it just doesn't matter to them. And you know, I didn't mean to lay a guilt trip on you by mentioning this, but you know, it's an important thing to bring up, because these people just come to the country and they've got nowhere to go but up. So they don't care. So they don't procrastinate about taking action on things. Personal injury attorneys. There's a zillion of them. Why? People want to buy. I mean, we're in a very litigious society. People want to sue other people and get the free lunch. And those attorneys are certainly cashing in on it. There's nothing wrong with the fact that they're out there providing that service, but if you notice, you can't turn on TV without seeing 10 personal injury attorneys in 6 hours advertising, especially in California. I don't know what it is about California personal injury. You know, I'm not slamming. I love California, but whenever I go to California, you click on, and it's like, you know, every third commercial is a personal injury attorney. And, you know, it's just amazing how vibrant that business is. Bankruptcy attorneys. Service people want to buy. High margin. They're just selling a service. They're selling paperwork. Once again, they're selling paper with high margins. Another great one is, have you ever noticed all the products to help people play better golf? Okay? No, I'm telling you, it's amazing. I bought the product Turbo Swing off of television. And I watched the infomercial. One of the I saw it about 6 or 7 times. Oh, it's right there, golf product. But I watched it 6 or 7 times, and I said, geez, you know, all these people hit the ball 10 to 15 yards farther. It takes 5 minutes, and I can order right now. Okay, well, I'll finally order. And it's a good example. I mean, this is a plastic device. The plastic cost was probably 15 cents, and the tooling for it. It's got a wrist strap. And, you know, I'd say the total product cost on it, and it has 2 videos in it, total product cost is probably $4 to $5. It's sold for 2 payments of $29.95 plus, I think, $9.95 shipping and handling. It's an instant solution for golfers. And they promise better accuracy and longer distance. I mean, you know, who would have thunk it that would work, you know? Who would have thought that would work? I mean, it hits everybody that plays the sport of golf. It solves their problem instantly, and they're selling what people want to buy. I'll give you another great example. It was on the cover of Success magazine this month. There was a forum with a lot of successful entrepreneurs. And Richard Branson, guy who founded Virgin Records and Virgin Airways. And they also had Mr. Callaway, the guy who founded Callaway Golf. Are there any people that play golf in the room? Okay. How many people own a Callaway golf club? Okay. That was about 35%. Mike, you don't own a Callaway. You have a knock. No, I'm just kidding. He has the real Callaways. He has the irons. That's right. But we just saw about 35% of the people raise their hands that play golf, just quickly. 35% of the people that play golf have bought a Callaway product. Why? Because the product's better. It solves the problem of hooks and slices for most golfers. It's selling what people want to buy. If you can tell a golfer, if you hit this club, you'll have less hooks and slices, they're going to buy. You're selling what people want to buy. Going next to the next thing that I want to bring up is making the solution immediate. People don't want to wait for results. They want them now. And it's the most important thing to them to get the result instantly. That's why I'm joking about weight loss products. But the fact is that in a weight loss product, people love to have a result in 7 days. How many people are interested in a weight loss product that takes 4 months? I mean, really? But if it's 7 days, and I just take this magic pill and I lose 18 pounds, bingo. I mean, you're in, and you know, you're multiple people that go on diets and try diets, they're multiple diet buyers. They buy over and over and over again, keep on looking for the magic solution. When in fact, the magic solution, you know, for someone like me is not to eat the entire coconut cake at the end of dinner. But the fact is that when you're looking out there into the marketplace, you've got to consider as the 4th element this morning that we're going over, and part of this 5 elements that are so sacrosanct to the success of a product, you've got to think about solving the problem quickly. We are in a society that's impatient. We want results right now, and we don't want to wait. And that's why if you profile the most successful offers, you will find that the most successful offers that are solving a problem are doing it quickly, very fast. People don't want to go through a long, drawn-out procedure to get their results and their benefits. I want to talk and just go for just a moment about finding specific offers to help eliminate the confusion and give you some practical understandings of this. And one of the interesting things is that aside from giving you and exposing you to certain products that work while you're here, if you go to the library and you'll spend a little research there, you'll find some amazing things. But I'll give you a good example. Spiller Anderson is here with us from Virginia Beach, and he's an interesting person. He's here with his wife. He has a product that solves a problem. It's called Miracle Soap, and hopefully we'll get to profile that product tomorrow afternoon and talk about it along with the products that Phil Maynard has, and analyze those products and take a good look at them. But Spiller's biggest problem right now, his ad cost is 1.2 cents on, what's your product sell for, $59 or $49? His ad cost is 1.2 cents, and you'll find out how tomorrow. Or if you speak to him, he'll tell you how. But his ad cost is 1.2 cents on a $49 product. The problem is his product cost. So we've been talking about trying to hook him up with the right infomercial distributor that can get him into retail, but moreover, can pay for the molding process to go to plastic for the product or some other lightweight material that's a lower cost and do a run of 100,000 units. That's the biggest problem he has with his product right now is the product cost. But he's inventively realized that his product cost and his margins aren't that high right now. So to offset that, he was smart enough to realize that if I have virtually no ad cost, even though my product cost is high, I can still make a profit. So he was smart enough to realize that if my margin's low, my ad cost has to be much lower than the norm. But his biggest problem right now is that he has a product that solves an immediate problem, does it very, very quickly, but his product cost is too high. And unfortunately, because of that, it's holding back even more profitability for him. But he's very profitable right now. But if he gets his product cost down lower, then it's going to give him the capabilities to go out into mass media and to really ton it with this product. And we know the product will be a hit, but we don't have the expertise to really drive it to retail. There's a certain group of people in this industry that can really get products to retail and get retail space. And some of you have products that will be geared towards retail, and hopefully we'll get to that tomorrow on how to get a product to retail. But Spiller's an inventor that just had an idea that was just a byproduct of what he already does and owns a business. And he has a product that solves a problem. Once he gets his margins in place for his product, he could sell millions of the product because it's a problem that people have all over the world. And it works very, very quickly. The other thing that I want to bring up for you is that there's been this thing going on for the last year and a half, and I call it the Ab Wars. And it all started with Tony Little, who we know, who lives just down the road in Tampa. And it's kind of interesting that he has another ab product out, but he started out with the ab isolator. And did anybody buy the ab isolator? People don't want to admit this, do they? You know, there's like 5 gazillion of these sold. No one bought them in this audience. No, we don't have an ab problem. We're all thin and trim. It's not a problem for us. We eat grapefruit every day. We're on the grapefruit diet. But he started out selling this ab isolator, and the product took off because it was gearing towards the problem of people flattening their abs. But the promise, if you've seen this consistently through the Ab Wars, is just about everybody has the same guarantee. And when the first person came out with the guarantee, it was compelling, and now it's been diluted. And the guarantee is you're going to lose 4 inches and 10 pounds in 30 days. Anybody heard that guarantee? It's pretty consistent throughout all these ab products. I mean, you get the ab roller, the ab shaper. Tony's new product is abs only. You know, there's a bunch. Ab Sculptor is another one. But the guarantee is very, very consistent. But the point is when it first came out, the guarantee was compelling and became diluted because everybody adopted it as a guarantee. But there's an interesting thing about Tony Little, and we had the opportunity a couple of months ago to sit down and just talk for 3 or 4 hours. And it's interesting how, you know, he just set a new QVC record. He sold 58 semi-tractor trailer loads. Now I just want you to imagine this picture, okay? He's on QVC for 1 day, and he flies up there every month. And just imagine 58 semi-tractor trailers rolling down the highway, all filled with product. 58 semi-trailers filled to the gills with this product. And he sells them out in 1 day. Over 60,000 people ordered. Let me tell you one of the keys to his success. This is really interesting. And this was very illuminating for me when I met with him. Because I wanted to interview and speak to the person he is the most successful live salesman ever to be on television. I'm talking about live, not taped in an infomercial. He's very successful at that. And one of the reasons he is he has the same spontaneity in an infomercial because he tapes them live. But he doesn't look at the person that's the most likely prospect when he sells a product, because he knows that's a given. He knows that that person is interested. He looks at the person that's not a likely prospect. And I noticed something in his infomercial, and you'll probably see it, and now he has abs only on television. And he has a couple of distinct characteristics in his product that come out. For instance, he looked at his product, and he'll take about 4 or 5 days to sit down and think about the marketing for the product and the buzz lines and who he wants to attack as a market. And the product, if you've seen it, unlike the rollers, It's just got a little pivot point that sits on the ground. And he created an animation that shows how our hips move. And they don't move as rollers. They move at a pivot. And he said, this simulates the exact same movement that your hips have. And then he also brought up a benefit that because it's on a pivot point, the product doesn't slip, like the roller products. So he's now eliminated the competition. But here was the most important thing that he did, because I watched him 4 times that day. I mean, it was just amazing. And by the last time he appeared, he was so confident that he went and he sold 2 other products he has. He has a skier and also a treadmill. And he blew those out, all the remaining inventory in that. He was on TV for about 20 minutes in that session. And he sells a gazillion abs only, and then he sells, I mean, there are thousands upon, he does about $15,000 a minute during this session that he has. But he goes out and he says something that the other people really haven't stressed that are selling these ab products. How many people in the room have a bad back? Get back pain, okay? Most of you at some point in your life will experience back pain. It's unfortunate, but most of you will. And he brings up the fact that this particular exercise is going to also help strengthen your back. So he's now expanded the audience just like that. And the other people missed it. And it's interesting because when we sold pillows on television, we realized that neck pain, through a process of testing, was a larger market with a compelling problem than people that snore. Now, most of you, if you didn't know that, would think that snoring is a bigger problem. Most of you, of course, that don't have neck pain. But the fact is he realized how to take his current market and make it bigger by thinking about the people that were the less likely prospects. And he came up with a believable, understandable, very logical way to solve their problem. Does this give you any ideas of what you're missing with products that already work? If you can take your market, and your potential market is 40%, and now just by adjusting and understanding the benefits, and a little bit later we'll talk about how to fix products that don't work. If you understand, sometimes by speaking to customers, you'll see benefits that you never thought of. You could now take your market where it's 30, 40, 50% and expand it to 50, 60, 70, 80%. So your marketing didn't get better. You just widen your focus because you brought in a new market that wasn't there before. So, you think about it. I mean, 4 months ago, I said to myself, who the heck doesn't own an ab product? I laughed. I went down to a couple friends' house to play golf in West Palm Beach, and I walk in, and they've got one of the ab products. They're showing me their weight room and stuff, and they've got one of the ab products. Went to another person's house. They got an ab product. Everybody had. And Tony comes in. He started the craze. And now he's come in where you think it's peaked out. If you go to Kmart or Walmart right now, you'll see 5 different ab products on the shelves. It's like they don't have a sporting goods section, they have an ab section. This is a sporting goods, this is the ab section. It's bigger than the sporting goods. But he comes in after you would think the market is spent and it's wiped out. He comes in and says, okay, I'm going to expand the market. It's brilliant. Guy's absolutely brilliant. And you can do the same thing too, just by sitting there and seeing if there's another benefit that causes an immediate solution that the other people are overlooking. And this gets back to being aware, looking, and starting to prospect for opportunities that exist, but people are missing another element of the market. And I got a letter a few months ago from this lady. She wanted me to die in a hurricane, and I don't know, it was terrible. And she chastised me for us saying in the course, the funny thing is 2 weeks later she writes back, says, incredible course, and figure that out. But she writes back and says, I tried these things and they do work. I'm sorry about the first letter. I hope you're still alive. But yeah, it was really a strange letter. I was like freaking out when I got this letter. But what was interesting is she's chastising us for saying, go out and look for things that already work. When I was a kid, I used to sit there and wonder to myself, well, how do people make money? And I got to interface with a lot of wealthy people as a young kid. And I found most of them were, doctors and dentists and attorneys, and I got to caddy for sports stars, and that was pretty interesting. But I started to really ask myself these questions because I was around a lot of wealth, and I saw it, so I tried to understand it. Many of you have done the same thing. And so I tried to conjure up, what's the key to success? What's the key to success? Well, the simple thing is sell what people want to buy. So when you go out and you start to notice these things, this person was chastising us for saying, wait, don't go out and cut and pave a new road. Just go look for one that's already there. It's easier to drive down a new road. The old saying, a pioneer is someone with arrows in their back. Second person in usually makes the money because someone's already paved the road. Someone already knows the market's there. Oh, okay. I'm not finding out whether there's a market that exists. If you go out there, just like the story that we started out with a little while ago, about these guys that thought they had a great idea, but nobody wanted to buy it. They risked their life savings. And it's amazing to me what people invest in. I mean, they raise millions of dollars in limited partnership or a public stock offering, whatever, and they go and they spend all this money. No one wants to buy it. The only people they sold were the investors. And the fact is, if you go to the library, you watch TV, you pick up newspapers, you pick up tabloids, you're going to see all these products that people want to buy. Does anybody know what you do when you start to narrow in on some products that you think you might want to offer? Anybody have an idea? A guess? Huh? What was it? What was it? Well, let me tell you the first thing you do. Well, you're a couple steps ahead. Here's the first thing you do. You order it. You order it. And this lady was also chastising for me, for telling exactly what you do. And you do two things. You order one, then you order another. You return one of them to see how they handle the return process. And you also find out in the ordering process what their upsells are, what their cross-sells, what their back ends are. Do they have any downsell offers? Is it a continuity offer? Is it a one-time sale? Why? Because if you're interested in this offer, and you see that they don't have an upsell, if they don't have a downsell, a cross-sell, a back end, if they don't do anything with their list, there's a couple of opportunities there. First of all, you can go out and compete against them in the marketplace, or you can approach them and say, hey, I have all these things that I can do to your existing business. All I want to do is work your list. I want to create the marketing for working your list. Because you realize there's opportunities that exist there. When you have upsells on an offer, they're almost all profit. Upsells are much more profitable. Why? Because if you look at it this way, that you've absorbed a lot of your advertising cost in the initial sale, the upsell doesn't have an ad cost. And you've already got them on the phone, or you've already got them in the mail, and you've got them in the ordering process. Our average sale on television is $118? $118 on a $79.95 product. Our average sale when we sold pillows was $43.75 on a $19.95 product. If we didn't have an upsell, the product wouldn't have worked. But if you go through that ordering process, and people had good ideas, you test it or you dry test it, and those are both good ideas. But the fact is that all you've got to do is find out exactly what they do in the process and look for opportunities within it. And then you go to testing it. But you can see what they're doing. Now, if you go out, and this is a good tip for you, if you go out, a little way to research very, very quickly is you can hire a clipping service. You can hire a company like Burrell's in Livingston, New Jersey, which is in our direct response directory within our book, Where to Advertise. But once you find a product that's out there, Burrell's, you could call them, they're in Livingston, New Jersey, and you could call them, and if you want to invest a few $100s, which will save you tens of thousands, you could tell them who the advertiser is, tell them where you found their ad, and they'll tell you every place they advertise. That'll make you $1 million if you just do that, believe me, because it saves you all this time. So you now know where they advertise. You know every place they advertise. I mean, you're going to get all their ads sent to you and the place where they advertised. Very quick way to find out and do some research without having to go through the arduous process of going through the library. And you'll also get more information than you'll get at the library because the library doesn't carry all the publications that exist, but Burrell's goes out and surveys all kinds of publications.